And while most of these keynotes have been familiar faces, presidents, first ladies, tonight also marks the largest audience ever for Governor Tim Walz to introduce himself. Yes, many Democrats and news observers now know him from that first speech joining the ticket and the weeks of recent campaigning. But the convention is an altogether different level, a political Super Bowl for Coach Walz, if you will. And there is both promise and high stakes in that. Joy?
Yes, indeed, that is right. That epic roll call that Ari mentioned, it literally felt more like a house party, right? Well, Michelle and Barack Obama brought the House all the way down. Also speaking tonight, top House Democrat Hakeem Jeffries, former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Senator Amy Klobuchar, Governors Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, and Wes Moore of Maryland, and Secretary Pete Buttigieg. And Democrats will continue showcasing the party's cultural power that we have been discussing. Tonight, musical icon Stevie Wonder will perform. I am excited about that. Ari, what are you looking for tonight?
It is exciting. It's downright infectious, even as we try to, follow all the evidence and the storylines, and no one knows what's going to happen when people actually come out to vote. But there's a mood, the vibe is then the word of the week. And Joy, sometimes I reach for lyrics and I quote them. Tonight I'm going to quote Joy Reid, because it was just 24 hours ago, give or take, and you were saying something before the musical roll call about culture. And culture is a word that could mean different things to different people in different places, but you were observing that the current cultural energy seemed to be with the Democrats as compared to the Hulk Hogan RNC. And no disrespect to wrestling, which has a storied history. But you said that before the roll call, Joy, and then we saw what continued to unfold, and I think many people are excited about Stevie Wonder tonight. And so culture can mean that which defines the stories we tell in reality and aspiration. It can be the fun, the music, the party, the block party, the dancing, but also it can be the society that we want to be in, which for a lot of people comes in a cultural discourse before a political discourse. And so that's on my mind, thinking about Stevie Wonder and the culture, if I may, of Tim Walz, who has, everyone agrees, there are progressive values in his record as governor. I don't think that's a debatable proposition. And yet, what is it about that seems to scare the right and Kamala Harris's opponents? It appears to be that you can be as progressive as he was as a governor and also have a common sense approach to owning guns while wanting them to be safe. And also put on some camo sometimes, and also respect military service, and also coach football. All these things together is as cultural as it is policy-oriented, Joy. So I'm very interested tonight to see what he does on the main stage with all those themes, which, again, are not as familiar to this huge audience. Night 2 was as big as night 1, slightly outrating the RNC for those keeping track. And so that means, by definition, Joy, a lot more viewers are going to tune in, I should say, for Walz tonight. What are you seeing on the floor, and what are you thinking about in all the above?
Yeah, absolutely. And just to build on what you're saying, I mean, the reason that we talk culture so much when we talk about politics, right, is number one, these political parties have become identities for so many people. And if you think about the identity of the Democratic Party versus the Republican Party is really about looking back to a time when they thought America was better. They thought America was better in an earlier era, the 1950s. And in some cases, it looks like the 1980s, because that's when Donald Trump was the happiest. And so he's trying to reset the culture of the country to his best era, the 80s. And so that's why you see him with a lot of 80s celebrities, right? That's why if he's with a rapper, it's somebody who's like more popular in the 90s, Kanye West, like somebody who's not as current in terms of his ethos. Whereas the Democratic Party really wraps around the culture of modernity. And the arts are known for being very progressive and very modern. And so it isn't surprising that it's Democrats who attract Beyonce to let their music be used. That it's Democrats who would have Lil Jon, because hip-hop is so much a part of modern culture that the right really kind of rejects. And Tim Walz fits into that, in that he is a modern version of manhood, because he's got the most macho man job of all. He's a football coach. He's a high school teacher, but he's also so modern that he understands that girls need to have sanitary napkins and stuff in the bathroom. That is so threatening to the right because it means a kind of masculinity that's not toxic. And they're like, no, if we don't have toxic masculinity, men are not men. If men are not producing multiple babies, men are not men. But the left and the Democrats are saying, nah, we actually can have like the cool white guy that's like friendly to all the kids, and even the LGBTQ kids feel comfortable. He's a football coach, but he's not mean to them. And that's all Democrats are offering. And so really what this is, you're being offered as America invitations to 2 house parties. And the question is, which house party do you want to go to? That's what an election is. What country do you want to be? Do you want to be at house party A, which is the house party that's like the 80s, and it's got like Kid Rock, and it's got, you know, the lady from OnlyFans at it? Or do you want to be at the house party that I'm at right here, where you've got this incredible mix of people, including Republicans, who are all welcome to the barbecue, who everybody gets a plate, no matter who you are, who you love, what you look like, what's your color, your race, your religion. That is what the Democratic Party has become. In the modern era, the Democrats are the house party that everybody's invited to.
I hope people are listening close to what you're saying, and we may have to clip that for the internet. I mean, you just put that so well, and then we have the double entendre of party. These are political parties, but then it's which party do you want? There's a very old saying, ain't no party like a DJ Cassidy party, because a DJ Cassidy party has 50 songs for every state. That's a riff on the saying. But no, I love what you said there, Joy, and it also reminds us of something that is different this year. Usually campaigns are fighting over what the frame of the issue is, and they disagree. So one side says immigration wall, and the other side says economy progress. So they're literally having different debates, and sometimes the louder screaming message can win by convincing people, well, this is the issue or the problem. What you just reminded everyone is that in a manner that might be bad news for the Republicans, they are overlapping on the message of time. In other words, Kamala Harris is saying we're not going back, and DJ Cassidy's saying let's remix things into the future, and that's the kind of consistent cultural message. And the Republicans aren't resisting that. They're talking about bringing out their old calendar, agreeing with the time reference, but in a way that may not be as appealing. So, well, we've got some time to get into all that. I know Alex Wagner's standing nearby with both of us, so we'll see Joy in a second, but we're bringing in, it's official. We can say I have this, I have it official now, Alex. Vibes correspondent, Alex Wagner, also hosts secondary title, Alex Wagner tonight.
I assume there's a chyron somewhere. I can't see it because I'm limited communications capacity, but Chief Vibes correspondent, I'll demand it in my next rider. Can I tell you that I was just speaking with a couple members of the Georgia delegation, asking them, of course, what's going to unfold in their state in November, and we talked about Lil Jon. Nobody's over it yet. People are still feeling the glow of that roll call. The only people maybe a little bit bummed out are a couple members of the New York delegation who thought that Cassidy should have played maybe Nas instead of Jay-Z as the official New York musical artist. That's for you, Ari. Can I say,
well,
in
Alex,
addition
I'll only
to
briefly,
just...
Alex, I'll only briefly say that Empire State of Mind is always inspired, but Nas has New York State of Mind, and the two once battled and are now together. They've performed together as New Yorkers. So I could see either side of that.
Listen, there's still more music to be played, Ari. Who can know what awaits us in the coming 48 hours?
Fair.
I will say this, though, because I think you guys are hitting the nail on the head about the sort of choice at hand, and to put a finer point on it, the idea of manhood and what it means for the American society writ large, right? MAGAism is this reductive, misogynistic, throwback form, a very regressive form of masculinity that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have offered the country. It's rooted in grievance, and it's coach night here, right? Democrats are offering the country Tim Walz, as Joy said, the football coach who can also be head of the LGBT gay-straight alliance at his local high school. I mean, this is a person, and I would say Doug Emhoff too, two men who are comfortable supporting powerful, capable, intelligent women as they break a woman in particular, Kamala Harris, but women in general as they break glass ceilings as Kamala Harris seeks to lead the nation. It's really, I think, a hinge point in terms of, I'm not going to call it the battle of the sexes, but gender and how we think of traditional roles of men and women. And I don't think you're going to see a better contrast in American politics today than what Tim Walz presents on stage tonight and what we saw at the RNC.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to ask a follow-up, and it's a little bit of a reveal, Alex, because we did get a chance to talk with Governor Gavin Newsom just briefly when he sidled on over to our side of the arena. And we did get a chance off camera to ask him, why no Kendrick Lamar? I mean, if Georgia's going to go big, if they're going to go Atlanta big and bring Little John, why not go bigger and bring Kendrick Lamar? And then I would also ask, Minnesota. No Prince, no Prince, no hologram of Prince. Everyone had an opportunity to go big here.
I thought we had some Prince music. Am I mistaken? And I would just also say,
but no hologram.
Listen, if you're going to talk Atlanta, oh, no hologram. Right. I hear you on that. I also think, if we're talking Atlanta, really, can we ignore Andre and Big Boy, Outkast? I'm sorry. There are so many amazing artists from the state of Georgia. It's almost like they should be able to do it 2 or 3 times the roll call. Just a note to future convention programmers. There's a lot of love to be spread from the state of Georgia.
I agree. I feel like this has started something that I think can be built upon. I think we can all come together on the idea that DJ Cassidy should be booked every 4 years and that we should update the playlist, but also every state. Y'all got to bring it because, look, Atlanta is always going to Atlanta. And so if they're going to do it, you might as well go bigger. Alex Wagner, we will look for more vibes from you from the floor. Thank you very much, my friend. We'll see you soon. And we also have a lot more ahead on day 3 of the Democratic National Convention, a.k.a. the House Party in Chi-Town. Stay right there.
Yes, I told you I'll be there. All right.
A night out requires a plan. What you're wearing, where you're going, who you're seeing, and how you get home at the end of the night if you've been drinking. So no matter your style, plan your ride home before you go. Together, we get there.
Cats. Who needs them, right? Over to you, Dr. Pimple Popper.
Acne is caused by too much
Okay, Dr. Pimple Popper.
Oh, come on. It's sebum, an oily wax in the skin, and too much can cause acne. Winlevi is the only acne cream that targets sebum production, leading to clearer skin and more control over future breakouts. The most common side effects include reddening, scaling or dryness, and itching. These are not all possible side effects. Winlevi is a prescription cream, so talk to your dermatologist about Winlevi cream.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Welcome to Jaguar Land Rover Bellevue, the newest member of the Fields Auto Group.
For over 50 years, Fields has been North America's premier family-owned and operated luxury auto group. Whether you're in the market for a luxury sedan, SUV, or electric vehicle, Jaguar Land Rover Bellevue has them all, in stock and ready for delivery.
And right now is a great time to get an offer like this.
Lease a new 2024 Discovery Sport SP250 for $634 a month at Land Rover Bellevue. Go to landroverbellevue.com.
App stores and smartphones have changed everything in our world. And just like an app store, Ethereum creates a place for others to build and launch new applications, which are owned by everyone on the blockchain. What if you could own a part of that ecosystem? CE. Registered access to Ethereum, available through your existing investment account.
We were wondering if anything happened to us.
We want you to take the kids.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will, something you can sign and make official. Start your will at trustandwill.com and make it count.
Transform your water and live hydrated.
Yeah.